How can we actually see the starting process of White Lies? It was because I've read it was because of the lyrics the songs that you wanted to write didn't fit into your previous band. But at what time did those lyrics for White Lies actually started to develop into what they are today?
I think we started White Lies when we were about, I guess, 19 years old. About that. And at that point, we had kind of, I guess that marked the end of the kind of transitional, pubescent, stage that every person goes through. And I think personally for me, I felt a lot more confident about writing what I wanted and writing more personal or more emotionally charged lyrics and whatever. And that was just to do with growing up. And it's the same with our music, with the instrumentation as well. White Lies started, I think, when we had become at least kind of men almost, I think it also, the experience we'd had as a band before we started White Lies was, whilst we have good memories, was on the whole fairly thankless and negative in that, we worked so hard and received nothing pretty much in terms of, we didn't have a particularly good fan base, and we would travel the country in the worst possible way to play a show and then come back overnight the same night, or beg our parents to let us play on school nights and all this kind of stuff. So I think part of White Lies and the way it started was a retaliation against that, and the way that we retaliated against whatever the music industry or the music listening public was by doing what the hell we wanted kind of thing, whereas before we'd been definitely very much influenced by what we felt mainly our friends wanted to hear. We were all still going out every weekend with a big group of friends, and all of our music tastes kind of overlapped, and at that point it was like, well, we should be making this kind of music because this is what everyone's listening to. And when we started White Lies, I think we were all a little bit bitter about music in general, certainly contemporary music, and so we started to just kind of do things our own way and forget about everyone else and forget about other people's opinions. And it's such a cliche of people saying be yourself or whatever, but in that case it worked for us. So.
And those friends that you mentioned, what do they think of your music that you're making now?
Most of them are very into it. Obviously there's a couple of kind of snobs that pretend like they were into our music when we were 14 or whatever, and say they were so good when they were 14 and now it's lame or whatever, but those kind of people are just really.
We could probably count the fans that we had then on one hand.
Because if you don't count your friends as your fans, like actual people who'd never heard, didn't know who we were or whatever, it was very, very few. And, it just, I think one of the best things about White Lies at the moment is in doing these kind of tours, playing places like the Paradiso, is going out every night and knowing that everyone there, really does appreciate your music and they're genuine fans, and that's what we always wanted to have before White Lies, and it's a great feeling to finally know that we're doing what we want to do, but at the same time everyone else who's in that room really loves it as well. And
also so far spread as well. I mean, being a band from London, there was always a tendency in the really fatal trap of assuming that London was the centre of the universe, or the UK was, and there's countless bands that just kind of tour up and down the UK for months and months on end. And it's really not expensive to go to Europe, at least. You can drive in your car to Europe, and you can tour around Europe in a car if you wanted to. And even if you were still playing small gigs, it's why would you not do that? And as soon as we started and we had the means to do it, we went as far afield as we possibly can. We went to Japan even when we were playing, in front of 400, 300 people or something like that. And same with America, same with Europe, and we've now been to Australia and New Zealand, and we're still not, the fan base is still growing out there, but it really means something to people if you travel that far to play for them. For that reason, it's amazing to come to places like Amsterdam, to come to places, Paris and Zurich and wherever else we're stopping off on the tour, and actually have dedicated fans there because we've put the time in, in the early stages, and now they're there for life, you hope. Yeah.